Good morning children, and welcome back to your chemistry class. Today we are going to study about some general trends of modern periodic table. Now what do we mean by general trends? That is, we are going to talk about the number of shells, the valence electrons, then the atomic size, then we are also going to talk about the metallic character, the valency, the properties of elements, how do they behave in the group and in a period is what we are going to study. So over here the first general trend that we are going to study is about the number of shells, okay, valence electrons and valency. So these are certain things that we are going to study first, and let me divide this into two parts so that we understand about the number of shell, valence electrons and valency respectively in the groups as well as in the period, so that things are very clear also, and you can, with the difference or comparison, you will be able to learn it more fast and easily in the periods. So now let me give you one example and then I'm going to explain it to you. So what do we mean by firstly number of shells? The number of orbits that you must have seen or you must have drawn earlier in your atomic structure chapter. So let me take an alkali group over here. Okay. So taking an alkali group over here, say it is hydrogen, then lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Okay. The atomic number I take 1, it is 3, this is 11, potassium is 19, rubidium is 37 and cesium goes till 55. So let us configure this now. Hydrogen, it is 1, lithium, it is 2, 1, then sodium, it is 2, 8, 1, potassium, 2, 8, 8, 1, then rubidium is 2, 8, 18, 8, 1 and so on. So what do we know about the number of shells? As we go down, look over here, as we are going down, the number of shells are increasing by 1, or we may say that as we go down the group, the number of shells increase arithmetically. Okay, so look over here, 1, 2, then 3, then 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this will be having 6 shells. So number of shells keep on increasing as we go down. Let me show it to you with the help of a diagram. Now hydrogen, so if this is the nucleus, hydrogen, what is the number of shell? 1. So if this is the nucleus, then this is the first shell, okay, which has how many electrons? 1 electron. Now look at lithium. Lithium, this is the nucleus, then it has 2 shells. The first shell has 2 electrons, right? And then the next shell has 1 electron. Okay. Then sodium. Look at sodium. This is the nucleus. Then 2, 8, 1. That means 3 shells. 2 electrons in the first, 8 electrons in the second, and 1 electron in the next shell. Then look at potassium. What? This is the nucleus, then 2 electrons here, 8 electrons here, then 8 electrons here and 1 electron here. So what are you seeing? 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. This is the same thing that I showed you over here. So as we go down, what happens? The number of shell increases by 1. Take another example of halogens. Okay, so over here fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Fluorine is 9, chlorine is 17, bromine is 35, then iodine is 53. Now let us configure them. So fluorine will be 27, chlorine 287, bromine it should be 28, 18, 7 and so on. So what did we see here? 2 shells, then 3, then 4, then this should have 5 and so on. So what did we study over here about number of shells? That in a group as we go down the number of shell increase arithmetically. This one point is very clear. So number of shells increase arithmetically. This is one point we have learnt over here. Now let's talk about valence electrons. What are valence electrons? The number of electrons that are present in the valence shell. And what is the valence shell? The last shell is called as the valence shell. Now look at the alkali metals. All the valence electrons are 1. That means over here look at halogens. All the valence electrons are 7. This means what? That there are similar valence electrons found as we go down the group in the particular group. Okay. In a particular group, the valence electron always remains the same. So the second point that we studied over here, that valence electron in a group remains same. Is this point clear? Then let us talk about valency. What is valency? Valency is a combining capacity. It is the number of electrons lost, gained or shared. So over here, how many electrons are they going to lose? They all are going to lose 1 electron to follow the octet rule. Therefore, what do we understand there? Then that as we go down in a particular group, the valency remains the same. They all are going to have the same valency. They all are going to have the same valency, right? So as we go downward in a group, the valency also remains the same. Valency remains same. Are these points clear? Now, next important point, understand it. The valence electrons, I'm talking about this. The valence electrons, they always decide about the group in which the elements are present. Okay, what did I say? Valence electron decides the group in which the element is present. Element is present. Okay. Now look over here. They all valence electron is 1. So where are they found? They are found in group 1. Over here valence electron is what? 7. So where are they found? They are found in the 7th group of, you can say, 17 group. 10 plus 7. After 1A, 2A comes the 3A. 3A goes in the P block. So there we have to add plus 10. Okay. So 7 plus 10. 17 group you can say, or you can also say 7A. 7A is always halogen. So they are found accordingly because they have 7 electrons in their outermost shell. And the last point to be told over here, the number of shells, they decide the period. Number of shells decide periods. Okay. So if you look over here, hydrogen, it is found in the first period. You can check your periodic table. Lithium is found in the second period. Sodium is found in the third period, 1, 2, 3. Potassium is found in the fourth period, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then chlorine is found in the third period. Fluorine is found in the second period. Bromine is found in the fourth period, and so on. So what did I say? Number of shells, they always decide the period, and the valence electrons, they decide the group. So number of questions can come to you to find out the atomic number, or maybe atomic number will be given to you and you will be asked to find out their position in the periodic table. So when we say position in the periodic table, we mean to say you have to tell the period and the group in which they are placed in the periodic table. So I hope about groups it's very clear. Now we come to periods. Now let me give you one example over here and then I'll explain as I explained it over here. So let me take the third period and explain you. So third period elements are sodium, magnesium, then aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and argon. Now let me write down their atomic numbers. This is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Let us configure it first. This is 281. This should be 282. This is 283. This is 284. This is 285. This is 286. This is 287. This is 288. Okay. So first, number of shells. Look at the number of shells. Number of shells remain the same, isn't it? They all have 3 shells. That means which period am I talking about? Because shells, they decide the period. So which period have I picked up all these elements from? From period 3, because they all have 3 shells. Is that very clear to you? So number of shells, they remain the same where? In a period. In the group, they increase arithmetically, whereas in the period, they remain the same. Now let's talk about valence electron. Look at the valence electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what did you see? That valence electron increases by 1. Over here, valence electron was same, but number of shells were increasing. Here in a period, number of shell remains the same, but valence electron keeps on increasing. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And therefore, this also decides which group are they present in. This is 1, valence electron 1. So, this is from group 1. Valence electron 2, group 2. Valence electron 3, group 3 and so on. Is this clear to all of you? Now, let us talk about valency. What do we know? Valency is the combining capacity. Okay, so look over here. It needs what? 7 or give away 1? Give away 1. So, its valency will be plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. This is plus minus. Whether it gives or take, it hardly matters. So, sharing will take place over here. So, 1, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. Now, to follow the octet rule, what will happen? This will accept 3, 2, 1 and this is 0. So, what happened? What did we study? It first increases 1, 2, 3, 4 and then decreases 3, 2, 1. Got it? So, valency in a period first increases and then decreases. Clear? I hope all these 3 points are very clear to you. Number of shells, the valence electrons and the valency and their trend in a group and in a period. Followed? We next move to another trend. Now we talk about the properties. Properties of elements. Okay, so I did not rub the example because I am going to take the same example and explain you all the trends. Now, properties of elements. what do we see about the properties of elements in the alkali group? Now look over here. Elements in the given group, they always possess similar electronic configuration. Look over here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 8, 1, 2, 8, 8, 1, 2, 8, 18, 1. Or look at halogen 2, 7, 2, 8, 7, 2, 8, 18, 7. So in a group, what is happening? The electronic configuration remains the same. So what do I mean? Because the number of electrons in the outermost shell is the same, therefore they have very similar physical and chemical properties. What did I say? I said because they have similar or same electrons in the outermost shell, therefore they have very similar physical and chemical properties, right? But these change uniformly as they go down, right, in a group. I hope this is clear. So in alkali metals, as we go down the group, their reactivity increases. Their reactivity increases. So that means cesium is most reactive, okay, and lithium is least reactive where in alkalis, okay, and in all the groups, I mean to say, in all the groups, what did I say? As we go down, the reactivity always increases. So taking an example of alkali metals. Now if you remember your activity series, we have potassium and then sodium. So see over here, potassium should be more reactive than sodium. Is that clear? So we can write down over there that lithium is least reactive, followed by sodium, followed by potassium, followed by rubidium, followed by cesium. So as we are going towards cesium, what is happening? There is increase in reactivity. Okay, but there is an exception. What did I say? I said in all the groups, as we go down, the reactivity increases, but there is an exception. What exception? In halogens. That, what did I say just now? As we go down, the reactivity increases, but in the case of halogens, it is just the opposite. That as we go down, the reactivity decreases. So over here, fluorine is more reactive. Chlorine is lesser than fluorine, lesser is bromine, and least is iodine. So what did we study over here? This is an exceptional example. That over here in halogens, as we go down, the reactivity decreases, or as we go up, the reactivity increases. So what can we say over here? Here we can say that iodine is least reactive, followed by bromine, then chlorine, and then fluorine. Fluorine is most reactive. So this is one of your exceptions. Otherwise, in rest of all the groups, we follow this trend. That is, as we go down, the reactivity increases. I hope this is very clear. Now let us talk about periods. Properties of the elements. It completely depends upon what? The number of electrons in the outermost shell, isn't it? So in this period, what is happening to the number of electrons in the valence shell? They are increasing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So over here, the properties of elements in a period, it differs significantly. Why? Because the electrons in the outermost shell, they are also changing. So reactivity, it first decreases up to group 14, right? And then it starts increasing. So what did I say? It first decreases. This is most reactive, lesser reactive, lesser reactive, least. Fine. Then little more reactive, most reactive. Did you understand the trend? Most reactive, lesser reactive, less, least, little more, most. So the extremes, they are more reactive, but in the center they are least reactive. So point to be noted over here, that reactivity first decreases, right, and then decreases up to group 14 till here. First it is going to decrease and then from here it is going to increase and then increases. Thus, what did we understand over here? As I told you that these 1, 2, they are more reactive, they are metals. As we go down, metalloid, they are lesser reactive. Then as we go towards the non-metals to chlorine, chlorine is highly reactive. So I hope the reactivity also is very clear to you. The properties of elements is clear. Now we next come to atomic size. The atomic size. Now this is very interesting. Try to understand what do we mean by atomic size. Atomic size basically depends upon the atomic radii. Now what do we mean by radii? The distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell. Okay. Now this is the outermost shell. The distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell. This is called as the atomic radii. Okay. So as the atomic radii increases, definitely the atomic size is also going to increase. Are you getting my point? Understand this point. What is atomic radii? Atomic radii is the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell. Okay, that is atomic radii. So, if atomic radii increases, then atomic size increases. Now, atomic radii depends on what? What did I say? It is from the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell. That means this atomic radii depends upon the shell. I have increased the shell. Now, the atomic radii has increased. I have increased another shell. Now, atomic radii has increased again. So, atomic radii depends upon what? Number of shells. Okay. So, atomic size also depends upon what? Number of shells. Is this point clear? Now, coming to group. What happens? As you are going down, what is happening? The atomic radii is increasing. Okay. When atomic radii increases, atomic size is also increasing. Is this point clear? So what did we study in groups? That as we go down in groups, the atomic size increases. Okay. Why? Because number of shells increase arithmetically. Because number of shells increase arithmetically, or we can say because the atomic radii increases due to which, because number of shell increases due to which atomic radii increases, hence atomic size also increases. This is what we study in groups. Now let us talk about period. Now what did we study over here? The number of shells are not increasing. So what do you mean then? That means the atomic size should be the same. Should atomic size be the same over here? No. The atomic size, as we move from left to right, it decreases. Okay. Atomic size decreases. Now why atomic size decreases is what I am going to tell you. Look at sodium. What do we study over here? This is the nucleus. This is the first shell with 2 electrons. Okay, I am just going to show you the valence electron. Okay, so 2, 8 and 1. There is 1 electron. So let us talk about magnesium. This is 2, 8, 2. Okay. Talking about aluminium. this is nucleus, then this is 2, 8 and 3. Now look over here, there is one electron and how many protons are here? Protons are how many? 11. And look at the outermost shell, it has just one electron. Here 12, there are 2 electrons. Here 13, but there are 3 electrons. So what is happening? The nuclear pull is increasing. The positive charge is attracting the electron towards itself. Here the pull is more because the number of protons are more, but number of electrons are less as compared to protons. So what is happening? The nuclear charge is more, it is increasing, the nuclear charge is increasing, right? Therefore, the pull towards the nucleus also increases, or in other words, we can say the nuclear pull, nuclear means nucleus, okay, which attracts the electron, that is called as nuclear pull. Fine. So, nuclear pull increases and therefore, when here only one electron has to be attracted, here 2 electrons have to be attracted, here 3 electrons to be attracted, here 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is happening? More pull, more the nuclear charge, more is the pull towards the nucleus. Hence, more the pull, the atomic size decreases. So what did we study in the period? That as we move from left to right, the atomic size decreases. Now why atomic size decreases? Reason I told you, because point 1 nuclear charge increases, okay, therefore point 2 nuclear pull increases, hence atomic size decreases. So these 2 points are a must to be written to give the explanation why atomic size decreases. I hope that's very clear. So in period, since the number of shell remains the same, therefore nuclear charge also increases and nuclear pull increases, hence atomic size decreases. This was about atomic size in the group and in a period. And last of all, coming to metallic character. Let's talk about now metallic character. Now, what do we mean by metallic character? The tendency of the elements to lose electron is called as its metallic character. Okay? The tendency to lose electron, okay, is called as the metallic character. Now look over here, in a group. We are going to talk about metallic character in a group. So now look here, the electron is placed in the outermost shell, right? Now over here, the pull is more. Over here, the pull is little less because the distance is more. Here, the pull is still less because distance is still more. Here, more distance, still the pull will be less. So, lesser the pull, more it is easy for the electron to leave the shell. So, the tendency to leave the shell increases as the number of shell increases. Is that clear? So, we can say that metallic character depends upon 2 points. What are they? Number 1, number of shells, and also it depends upon the nuclear charge. Okay, so what do we know about number of shell? When number of shell increases, then metallic character increases. Now, what did I say? Again I repeat. When number of shell increases, metallic character also increases, right? Why? Because as the number of shells are increasing, the nuclear pull decreases, the attraction of that electron towards nucleus decreases. Why? Because the distance is increasing. Clear? Hence, what happens? The tendency to lose electron increases, and therefore they show metallic character. And hence we can say that as we go down, the metallic character increases. So in the alkali elements, which is the most metallic character? Cesium is most metallic, followed by rubidium, then potassium, then sodium. Okay, so cesium is said to be the most metallic element. Now you must be wondering, after cesium is francium, and Miss is not using that element francium over here. So why I am not using the element francium here? Because francium has certain radioactive properties, and therefore it cannot be said to be a metallic character because it contains certain properties of radioactivity. So we remove this element from here and we talk about only cesium. So cesium is said to be the most metallic character. Why? Because it has maximum number of shells. So maximum number of shells means least nuclear pull, and therefore the electrons they easily lose, and therefore this is most metallic in character. Clear? Then we talk about nuclear charge. Now nuclear charge will be more effective in the period. One thing at a time. Number of shell is effective in the group and nuclear charge is effective in the period. Now let's talk about nuclear charge. What did I say? That over here in periods, the nuclear charge keeps on increasing. So if nuclear charge increases, number of shell increases, metallic character increases. Nuclear charge increases, then metallic character will decrease. Okay. So nuclear charge increases, then metallic character decreases. Followed? Why? What did we study just now in the atomic size? As we move, the atomic size decreases. When atomic size decreases, that means the nuclear pull is more. When nuclear pull is more, then how is it going to lose electron? It will not be able to lose electron. So there is no tendency to lose electrons. Therefore, it is not metallic in nature. Got it? So, what did we study from left to right? Since the nuclear charge increases, atomic size decreases. Therefore, the elements, they do not lose electron easily. Hence, the metallic character decreases. So, what do we study over here? This is metallic, lesser metallic, metalloid. Then we come to non-metals, right? And lastly, we go to inert gas. So, from metal we come to non-metals. That is what I am saying. Metallic character decreases. This way what happens? The metallic character decreases. Clear? Lastly, we talk about oxides also when we are talking about metallic character. Metallic character shows what kind of oxides? Metallic character shows basic oxides. Okay. So, in a period, this is metal, metalloid, non-metals. Okay. This is the trend. How do we study? Metals, then we come across metalloids, then we come across what? Non-metals, and lastly we have the inert gases. So with the inert gases we don't have to study anything. So what should we study about the oxides then? Now this is metal, so basic oxides are going to be found over here, right? So where are basic oxides found? Basic oxides are found over here. Then coming to metalloids, they show acidic as well as basic, both the characters, acidic plus or basic characters both oxides can be found over here. Then non-metals, they are only acidic in nature, right? They're acidic oxides. So let us look at certain examples over here. So metallic oxides could be your Na2O or MgO. Then acidic or basic oxides, do you know aluminium is an amphoteric metal? So it is going to show you amphoteric oxides. And what are amphoteric oxides? Which exhibit or which has both acidic and basic property. So over here you have Al2O3. Okay. Then we move to which one? Silicon. So we have silicon dioxide. This is also exhibiting not exactly basic, not exactly acidic, right? Somewhere in between, because it is a transition element from this to non-metal. So next we come to non-metals. They are going to exhibit acidic oxides. So acidic oxides could be like your P2O5, or go ahead SO2, or for chlorine you have Cl2O7. So this is how the property of the oxides move. Look at the properties of oxides over here. This is most metallic, so basic oxides are going to be found over here. As you go up, lithium will be more acidic in nature. Okay. As you go down, because the metallic character is increasing, so they are going to be more basic in nature. As you go up, the metallic character is decreasing, so they will be more acidic in nature. So with this, I hope it's clear to you. Revise this video, study this video twice, and revise all the general trends of the modern periodic table. I wind up over here. Thank you.